There is a kind of exhaustion that no one can see. It does not show up in puffy eyes from sleepless nights. It is not about staying up all night to meet a deadline. It is in the way you still smile and say, "I am fine," while feeling completely empty inside. I used to live like that. I was good at enduring, good at pretending. So good that I even convinced myself that I was really okay. Working in auditing means there is always a peak season, and during that time, personal life almost disappears. Staying up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning became normal. Constant business trips, waking up at 4 in the morning to catch the first flight of the day, were no longer unusual. I kept spinning in the whirlwind of work, no breaks, no complaints, not allowing myself to be weak. I always said, "It is okay. I can handle it." But I paid the price. In this video, I want to share with you that time in my life when I thought I was being professional, building a future, but in reality, I was slowly losing myself, bit by bit. When I first graduated from university, I carried a very pure belief that if I worked hard and had the skills, everything would be all right. That if I worked in the right field I had studied, I would be happy. I majored in accounting and auditing. It is not exactly glamorous, but it gave me a sense of security and stability. I did not dream of getting rich. I just wanted a job that matched my expertise in a professional environment, enough to take care of myself and support my parents. After graduation, I sent my resume everywhere. Sometimes I went through 3 or 4 rounds of interviews, only to hear, "You are great, but we have chosen another candidate." Every time I failed, I would go home quietly, open my laptop, tweak every single sentence in my resume, rewrite my career goals, adjust every period. When I finally got the acceptance email from a big auditing firm, I burst into tears. At that moment, it felt like I had just touched my dream. I told myself, this is the beginning of a brilliant journey. I still vividly remember that first morning going to work, waking up at 5, picking my best business outfit, taking a deep breath in front of the mirror, and smiling. I was ready to give my all, ready to go the distance. But no one told me that sometimes the very things you dream of can also hurt you. That job taught me discipline, precision, and responsibility. But it also quietly took away the little things. Family dinners, hangouts with friends, even just mornings where I could sleep in. I started getting used to staying up late first until 11 o'clock, then 1 o'clock, and sometimes until sunrise. I got used to early flights, waking up at 4, carrying a laptop, notebook, coffee, and a weary rolling suitcase. I learned to reply to emails in the car, write reports during lunch, and nod off on airplanes because there was simply no time to rest. And I kept telling everyone, "I am fine. Really, it is just peak season." Because I used to think that if this was my dream job, then it had to be worth it. When I first started, I admired the senior staff who could work nonstop, handle dozens of files at once, and still stay professional. And I thought, I want to be like that. So I learned to stay up late, learned to reply to emails even at the airport, learned to say, "It is okay, I can do it," even when my body started to push back. The second peak season came, then the third. Each year wore me out a little more, but I still did not stop. I kept telling myself, just push through one more season, then things will get better. But in reality, the season never truly ends. Amid back-to-back business trips, nights working until 2 or 3 in the morning, and then returning to the office at 8, I began to notice changes in myself. I became more irritable over small things. I started forgetting things easily, losing focus. I ate irregularly, slept poorly, and often woke up with a burning sensation in my chest like my body was crying out for help. But I was not listening. There were days I came home and cried, for no reason at all. Everything inside just felt too tight, too tired, too full. But the next morning, I still got up, still put on makeup, still smiled, and went to work like nothing had happened. I did not dare to take a long vacation, afraid of being seen as irresponsible. I did not dare to say no to urgent tasks, thinking that if I refused, others would see me as weak. I never told anyone how I truly felt, because I was afraid of being judged as too sensitive, as someone who cannot handle pressure, or as someone who is too fragile to work in auditing. And then, loneliness started to creep in. Even though I still attended team meetings, had lunch with coworkers, and went on business trips with my department, I gradually felt like I was living in a separate world. I could talk for 8 hours straight at the office, yet have no one to really open up to after work. I laughed a lot during the day, and then fell completely silent at night. I remember one trip to a remote province I flew out early in the morning and checked documents nonstop until late at night. When I got back to the hotel, I stood in front of the mirror brushing my teeth and could no longer recognize myself. My skin was grayish, my eyes sunken, my lips dry and cracked. The person in the mirror looked like me, but the light in her eyes was gone. I stood there for a long time, and I asked myself, who am I really living for? For myself, or just so I do not let anyone down? But the next morning, I still got up, still checked my emails, still revised reports, still told the client, yes, I am fine. The report will be sent on time. Even though deep down, I had not been fine for a very long time. I used to believe I could withstand any pressure, as long as I worked hard and stayed disciplined. But there was one thing I did not anticipate. The body does not stay silent forever. At first, it was just mild, fleeting headaches. Then came insomnia, shortness of breath, stomach pain. Small signs that I kept brushing off, blaming temporary stress, the heavy travel schedule, the flood of deadlines. I kept working, still met every deadline, still appeared fine in everyone's eyes. But inside, I knew I was getting weaker every single day. There were nights when I lay down but could not fall asleep, even though I was completely exhausted. My body felt constantly drained. My eyes burned. My heart raced for no reason. Sometimes, right after stepping out of a meeting, I had to sit in the restroom just to breathe, to stop myself from fainting. Eventually, I went to the doctor. After looking at my test results, he asked, "Have you had any real rest lately?" I gave a strained smile, because I could not remember the last time I truly rested. My body had been holding on for too long, and now it could not take it anymore. That night, I went home, and for the first time, I did not open my laptop. I lay down, placed my hand on my chest, and felt my heart beating fast in a way I could not explain. I closed my eyes. I did not think about the report. I did not think about work. I only thought, if I collapsed tomorrow, who would live this life in my place? The next day, I requested time off. 1 week. Not to travel, not to recharge and then jump right back in, but to seriously reflect, am I truly living or just enduring? During those quiet days, I realized something. I had drifted too far away from myself. I had been so busy finishing everything except one thing, listening to my own body and emotions. That weekend, I wrote my resignation letter, not because I was no longer capable, but because I did not want to wait until my body completely broke down before I finally stopped. I chose to leave while I was still clear-headed. While I still had the chance to return to myself, starting from the smallest things: a full night's sleep, a proper meal, a calm breath. For the first time in years, I felt light. In the early days after quitting, I did not feel immediately happy, nor did I feel free the way I had imagined. Instead, there was a strange emptiness. For the first time in years, I woke up without an alarm clock. No emails waiting to be answered. No unfinished reports. No one pushing me. No travel plans. No after-hours calls. I sat in my room, looked out the window, and realized the morning sky was actually beautiful. The sunlight was gentle. The air was cool. Everything moved slower. And I no longer needed to rush. I began to pick up simple habits I had once lost: eating breakfast without staring at a screen, taking walks without bringing my phone, listening to the birds sing without thinking about the unfinished work. At first, everything felt unfamiliar. Then came the silence, and after that, a gentle kind of rebirth. There were quiet afternoons when I sat and read through old journal pages. There were nights when I could feel my body truly sleep deep, undisturbed by stress. Sometimes, it was just a cup of hot tea or a soft instrumental song, and that was enough to make me feel alive again. I realized we do not need to work ourselves to exhaustion to feel worthy. We do not have to be constantly busy to prove we are useful. Peace does not come from grand achievements. It comes from knowing who you are, how you want to live, and having the courage to choose that, even if it is different from what others expect. After I quit my job, I did not immediately have a new one, but I had time to breathe. I had restful sleep again. I had unhurried meals. I had quiet moments to reflect without judgment, without running away. I am not saying letting go is easy, but sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to stop before you completely lose who you are. If you have made it this far into the video, maybe somewhere in my story, you see yourself. Someone who is still smiling brightly out there, but inside, already so tired. Someone who is great at enduring, always saying, "I am fine," so no one has to worry while having no one to lean on. I do not know where you are in your journey, but I want to tell you something I wish I had heard sooner. You do not have to be strong all the time. You do not have to hold everything together to prove anything. You do not need to be perfect. Always get it right. Always be on time. Always play your role. Sometimes, all you need is to stop. Place your hand over your heart and ask, "Am I truly okay?" And if the answer is no, that is completely okay, because you are human. And being human means sometimes you are weak, sometimes you are tired, sometimes you lose your way. What matters is this: you are still worthy of love even when you are not trying so hard. If you are holding on tightly, I hope you soon find a place safe enough to let go. If you are feeling weary, I hope you rediscover your true rhythm of breath. If you have forgotten yourself, I hope you will remember who you used to be and how you truly want to live. And if no one has said this to you today, then let me be the one to say it. You have done so well. You have truly tried your best. Now, it is time to take care of yourself.